Welcome back, citizens, to the Superhero League of Hoboken. Last time, we kicked a lot of butt and solved a lot of crime. Be prepared for much of the same on this edition. Let's see what's going on. The chatterbox is on the blink again. Two-headed man bites dog. A two-headed man, believed to be rabid, bit a beagle right in his Weehawken. Now confirmed to most definitely be a euphemism. An onomatopoeia based on the sound that someone makes when you bite them in their Weehawken. The man was later captured, and since both heads claimed that the other head did the biting, both were destroyed. The innocent torso and limbs were kept intact. The Staten Island pawnbroker's tent. Just in, new shipment of canoes and inflatable rafts. They're going fast. Get yours today. The Piscataway Festival of St. Rocco. Check the pawnbroker's tent for what we won't explain because it's a surprise. 4.6 tremor report in Philadelphia. Epicenter at 7-1. And help! I've been kidnapped by cyborgs. They're keeping me captive in Ben Franklin's house. Come quickly, before it's too late. We'll pencil that guy in, I suppose. What you got for us, Matilda? A religious cult is occupying Times Square and is fomenting unrest.
There is a religious cult which dwells in Times Square and celebrates an ancient holiday called New Year's Eve every day by dropping a ball off a tall building in the square. However, the ball has disappeared. If it is not restored by the next ball-dropping ceremony, the cult could riot, fomenting unrest throughout the sector. Times Square can be found in the New York downtown sector.
Well, my team has quite the knack for dropping balls, so it sounds like the perfect mission for them. Dr. Entropy is hatching another foul scheme from a base at Yankee Stadium.
Bad news. Entropy is once again at large, this time operating out of the ruins of a sporting facility in an area of Sector 3D that was once known, believe it or not, as the Bronx. Our field agents did not report the exact nature of his latest scheme, but he has apparently ordered a great deal of hospital equipment normally associated with cryogenic revival. Your mission is to discover the exact nature of his plan and, if appropriate, take steps to neutralize it.
Alright, well I wonder what he's up to with all that cryogenic revival equipment. Descendants of Yale alumni are threatening to sack a library at Princeton.
Descendants of Yale alumni living on the site of the former Yale campus in New Haven are threatening to loot and burn the Firestone Library on the former Princeton University campus in Sector 1A. This library is one of the region's foremost repositories of knowledge from before the collapse. Its destruction would be an unequaled disaster. You may need to visit both the campuses in order to pacify the Yale tribesmen. Transportation to New Haven may be available in southern downtown New York.
Alright, so Princeton's in 1A, and then the Yaleys are over there in New Haven, and apparently we get there through downtown New York. A whole bunch of stuff to remember. The Superhero League of Flushing is infested with mice and is calling for assistance.
We have received a distress call from the Superhero League of Flushing in Sector 3C. They report that their headquarters has been overrun by mice. It appears that they're being a tad panicky, summoning help for such a minor problem. Nevertheless, League protocol dictates that you travel to their HQ and see if you can be of assistance.
That's a little pathetic. I mean, even coming from us. Anyway, explorers report an important relic of pre-collapse Americana can be found in the Philadelphia sewers.
Explorers returning from the Philadelphia sector report the discovery of a relic from the pre-collapse era in that city's sewer system. As always, this relic must be presumed to be of vital importance to future historians and scientists and must be brought back here for safekeeping.
Alright, not too bad. We've got our missions. Now it's time to assemble the team. Last time we got a new member. She goes by the name Princess Glovebox. Let's have a talk to her.
Hey there, honey. How can I be of service?
Well, let's see. Refolding road maps is your superpower, eh? I used to be pretty good at origami.
You don't say. I made a few paper swans myself, but that was back before I learned that it's not how you fold the sheets that matters. It's what you do between them.
If you say so, I don't understand what that has to do with refolding road maps, but okay, you're the professional here. Anyway, I thought you ought to show us some of that fancy refolding right now.
I don't see any road maps around here, honey pie. I hope the rest of your parts are working better than your eyes.
we're not done yet.
Hey there.
Let's see, you look like a chick who's probably done some heavy-duty biking.
Correcto. And you look like a dweeb who's probably into some heavy-duty pencil sharpening.
Is that a euphemism or not? Anyway, we better get back to work.
Show me your stuff, big guy, and I'll show you mine.
Alright, so she's very nice, but she's not too terribly tough right now. 15 brawn, 33 brains. If you look at Mademoiselle here, even she's better. In every possible aspect. She even has better superpowers. So we're gonna take your neutron sword, and your diamond chastity belt, and your fancy sandals. And you're gonna get off the team. Instead, Captain Excitement, today's your day to shine. Let's see, what can we give you? Some steel line boots. Those are pretty good just as they are. Also, let's pass down the miniature chainsaw, the arsenic tipped deer antlers, the Gore-Tex hot pants. Let's see, what else we got here? The cat o' nine tails, that can go right to the back. The weed whacker. The plastic boomerang can sail right to the back. The pitchfork. Oh, the excitement of shuffling around all these weapons. Only superheroes could truly withstand it. And here's some Nerf shoulder pads and a padded belt. Pretty good. You know what? That'll do. That will do. Now let's take a rest, so everyone's at least up to snuff, and let's set out on adventure. First thing we gotta do is get Mop healed up. He's not in top form. So let's see. He's been hiccuping all, well, for months. So we'll get that fixed right now.
Sangus.
And unfortunately, the shaman is a quack. Let's try it again. Fix his hiccuping, dang it.
Sangus.
Good. Enough of your stuff. Alright, now it's time to head out there and actually get something done. I think first we're gonna head over to Princeton, just to see what's what. Remember, that's in Sector 1A. We're gonna have to clear out a sector first, as we run into a band of 10 nasties. Holy crud, we got bureaucrats, supermoms, and tuppers, and a whole bunch of screaming mimes. Not a big problem when you have a neutron sword. And really, this is just gonna be a slaughterfest. I bet you even Captain Excitement can get a kill on this one. Unfortunately, Mademoiselle found this was a good time to drop the ball, as did Oxide Man. We're not in Times Square yet, heroes. Let's see if you can do something good. This is your first time on the field. If you screw up, that's alright. Everyone else is not alright if you screw up. Anyway, try to put this tupper to sleep. You did a good job, Captain. He's a contributing member of the team.
Take that, and that, and that!
And
Hey, where'd you buy that nice cap? It's a polyester blend, isn't it?
ew, I may have just found out in the field, to be honest. Mop! Trevor Man, what is everyone doing? This is not Times Square. Anywho, let's just kick some butt. Good, you didn't drop it that time. Now you can kill this. You can kill this. And, Captain, he takes us home. A clean sweep nearly. And let's see, we find a sack of loosely sewn animal skins. Within, there's an arthritis inflammator. Fancy. Well, let's go ahead and give that to somebody. Arthritis, eh? You know what? I'm gonna stick with my sawn-off shotgun. You can take that, Captain. I think you've earned it. You've done a good job, my friend. You've done a good job. Let's go ahead and clear out this sector real quick. Maddies. Let's explore a little up here. There's some. They get the drop on us. A cyan cyborg McMutant and a couple of bureaucrats. Oh my gosh, it's spraying special sauce everywhere. But it's depleted and it runs away. We're not gonna take that sitting down. Well, maybe Shredderman is. There we go. You dropped the ball there, madam. But mostly good. And we find another sack of loosely sewn animal skins containing $127 kilo and a brick-colored isotope. A brick-colored isotope, I don't think we found one of those. Also, my mic stand seems to be drooping. A common problem from superheroes, I'm sure. Anywho, I've gotten that tightened up. Let's look at the brick-colored isotope. Drinking the brick-colored isotope will grant the ability to use induced rust at a proficiency of 25%. Pretty nifty, I think we'll hold on to that. We see a lot of robots out in the field, and that would be very handy if we could find some more red-colored isotopes.
Gaze upon me and be warned.
Yes, we will take your fabulous treatment. Give it the Trader Man. He is now radiation-proof. Alright, any more baddies? I want to get this sector cleared out. Baddies?
I wouldn't head south if I were you, not unless you enjoy being toast. Steroid men.
Sounds like we should heed their warning at least until this sector is cleared. And 10 nasties surround us. It's a whole mess of Mimi. That one knows his time is up and it's better they skedaddle. Same with that one. Will the third one be as smart?
Take that!
Nope.
And that!
He's ready to
Hey,
die.
where'd you buy that nice cap? It's a polyester blend, isn't it?
Let's see what the other ones do. They all cower, right? Yes. They all cower, and there's a Cy Young cyborg back there, the little rascal. Oh, Trader Man, don't ever change. Or actually, please get better. It'd be helpful for the whole team if you contributed. Also, you can take care of that Cy Young cyborg. I knew you could there, Oxide Man. There's another dead one, and a merciful death for that last Mimi.
Take that! And that! And that!
These ones
Hey, where'd
enraged.
you buy that nice cap? It's a polyester blend, isn't it?
Apparently this one's enraged at the sight of his fallen comrades, as is this one, and they're going to die honorably in battle.
Call an ambulance! Call a helicopter! Paramedic!
Not a big problem for our heroes. We get experience points and also a heaping load of jack squat. Let's see, let's make sure there's nothing else. I know that there's still baddies out here. I see them on the dangerometer. Come on, baddies. Baddies. 3 nasties get the drop on us. A couple of suggesters and a giant weed. Thankfully, suggesters don't give us any sass effects. And I'm too fast for a darn flower. There's one dead one. And unfortunately, they dropped the ball. Let's start working on the flower. There we go. Perfect. And now you can kill with heart disease. Not bad, not bad. 408 experience points. And we find a large hollow coconut with $101 kilo and a concrete motorboard. These darn coconuts, I swear. All the crazy stuff they have in them. It never ceases to amaze me. Let's see, it's actually better than a motorcycle helmet, amazingly enough. We'll give that to you. I think you need it a little more than me. I'll take your football helmet, though. And we'll pass down the motorcycle helmet with a flaming skull on it to Mademoiselle Pepperoni. And she can pass down her padded skull cap. And Oxide will hold on to it, because he has nothing else to pass down. Alright, bad guys. You know what? Let's take a rest. I mean, we're not too far from HQ, right? Might as well play it safe. Alright, bad guys. Bring it on. Come on. We know you want to fight. There we go. We get the drop on 6 of them. There's 1 dead one. 2 dead ones. And I can't inflict cholesterol on a flower. For some reason, it doesn't work that way. You guys set your fire on that thing. Oh, let's see. Let's take care of this. I doubt you can put this to sleep, but try it. It's not as effective as it could be. It's more of a piece of furniture than an animal. Not a big problem, though. Oh, you dropped the ball again. Thankfully, my arsenic-tipped deer antlers tear that flower to shreds. We get experience, and we've rid this sector of every wandering Nestian and savory element, giving us a bonus of 4,000 experience points.
Captain Excitement advances to Superhero 7th Class.
You're doing a good job, Captain. And we find a pizza box with a suspiciously sinister air about it. Do we open it?
The box contains a delicious pizza topped with sausage, money.
I love sausage money. That's my favorite topping. We'll go ahead and open that. And then, I think we'll go ahead and have a rest in here. then we're gonna try and take on those steroid men after I save the game. Alright, let's try it. And there they are, steroid men. Forging off centuries-old steroid stockpiles, these monsters have the muscles of a dragon and the intelligence of a dragonfly. They look pretty darn tough. Go at it, Mop. He puts a hurting on them, but not too terribly much. Oh my goodness, I hope they're susceptible to heart disease. They're fairly susceptible. That one's nearly dead. Come on, there we go. The low-powered laser chops its head off. Good job there, Tropical Man. It could have been better, but these things are pretty darn tough. And Captain's not nearly as effective as he could be. Good moves there, Mop. Keep dancing. Let's see. The steroid man lifts Mop at the waist and performs a few presses and curls. By the time he gets free, he sustains 60 damage of exercise damage. Why not? And with all that abuse, he kind of misses. Turner Man, consumed with fear, also misses. Thankfully, I pick up the ball that everyone's dropped. And she, Mademoiselle puts a little dent in his muscle. He almost laughs at the damage that some of our members are doing. But thankfully, Tropical Man puts a hurting on him. Arthritis really doesn't affect him as much as it could. And Shredder Man gets used for some presses and curls. There we go. That's more like it, and I'll finish him off with a burst aorta. I said a burst aorta, not dropping the ball, Crimson Tape. There we go, and Mademoiselle finishes him off with a Saturday Night Special. For our glorious victory, we're awarded 6,933 experience points.
Captain Excitement advances to Superhero 6th Class.
Good job there, Captain. You're doing a fantastic job. Let's go ahead and rest. That was not an easy fight, by any stretch of the imagination. We'll go ahead and save the game, just in case. I'd hate to have to fight them again, considering that everyone survived. And we got full experience points. Oh, Mop, why'd you do this to me? You're just gonna have to deal with it. Anyway, we're gonna head to Princeton, which is down here a ways. First, we run into a marketplace. This is the Princeton Marketplace. It has a weapon shop and a pawnbroker's tent. Let's see what they got.
A party of superheroes.
Yes, your favorite, because they buy all of your junk. Like a hip-mounted catapult. We'll go ahead and buy that for you, Captain Excitement, and a bow disruptor. Nothing you'd ever want to get hit by. And you can take that, Mademoiselle. And let's see, what you got? You got a low-power laser. You don't need any Saturday Night Special. We'll go ahead and sell that piece of crud. And you got nothing. You got a fire extinguisher. We've outgrown that, I feel. A rusty nail. You know what? No. You must hold on to that rusty nail until the end of your days. It served you well in the beginning. Plus, I mean, it's so cheap, who cares? We'll sell some of this other crud. There we go. We're not exactly hurting for money. Thank you, sir, for your business. And we'll head up to the pawnbroker's tent, where a mute man greets us. Let's see, has a green isotope. Drinking the green isotope will grant the ability to use Cause Root Rot at 8% proficiency. That sounds pretty handy. Only 8% though. I guess it's better than nothing. And we have a raven-colored isotope, which would give us veterinary skills. We'll go ahead and buy that. And a teal-colored isotope for water treading, and some termite eggs. The individual eggs are too small to see. The entire mass of eggs is similar in appearance to a large clump of moist lint. I think you can keep that, pawnbroker. He nods plaintively at us, as he cannot speak. But I will drink the teal-colored isotope. Now I have 75% proficiency at being really good at treading water, which is a good thing because now we have 3 people with 50% or higher proficiency, meaning we can finally execute the inverted pyramid of river crossing. And we'll go ahead and have Mademoiselle perform her masters in vet school and become perfect at putting animals to sleep. As for the green isotope, The green isotope and the root rot will go ahead and just sit on that for now. Instead, we'll proceed south. All around you are the ruins of an ancient university. One building seems intact. Would you care to enter? Well, sure.
The Yaleys will be attacking soon, and I haven't a clue what they'll be throwing at me this time.
This is the Princeton University Library. This carefully preserved collection is all that remains of the former Ivy League University. An exit leads east. The curator is speaking to the Princeton coach. Both of them look pretty glum. So here's the coach. He looks like a former Marine, except of course that Marines haven't existed for 100 years, so there aren't any former Marines around these days. None living anyway. And we have the curator. Thick, unfashionable spectacles, hair done up in a bun, dowdy mid-length skirt, and an expression associated with someone who's been sucking on lemons all day. They look great. Let's talk to the coach.
What can I do for you folks? I must warn you, I don't have a lot of time. There are rumors that the Elis are stirring.
Yo, coach, what do you think of the team's chances this year?
Although historians tell me that my title is derived from an authority figure in the area of athletics, my role is now entirely a military one. I am charged with defending this library from the encroaching chaos, and especially from our primitive New Haven rivals.
Alright, I get it. So if we learn anything, we should tell you. Anyway, we didn't realize you were so busy, so we'll let you get back to your very important work.
Thanks!
You're welcome, sir.
Shh, keep it down. This is a library.
Well, that's kind of impossible because I'm a superhero and I'm contractually obligated to speak like this. Anyway, who are you?
I'm the curator of this library, as my mother was before me and her mother was before her. I protect and add to the records that lie herein. I am the gatherer of the past, the guardian of the future. And by the way, I'm really pissed off that you didn't invite me to your big Cinco de Mayo party.
Well, the reason is because it's sort of a superhero-only event. I mean, we don't come to your Princeton Cinco de Mayo parties, right? Anyway, tell us about the library.
This library was once part of a great center of learning. Now it is one of the few repositories of the great and holy knowledge of our learned ancestors. In cooperation with the superhero leagues of the region, we guard this building and its precious contents, shepherding it through the tumultuous present in order to connect the glorious past with the shining future. Also, the basement makes a really awesome racquetball court.
You don't say! Well, can you recommend a good book for some light summer reading?
This isn't a lending library, pal.
Oh, that's a shame. Can you recommend a good ointment for battle wounds?
I'm a librarian, not a doctor.
That's such a lame joke. Anyway, I clearly hate whispering, so I'll just shut up.
Very well.
See you later. Not much we can do here right now, so we'll just leave you folks, and also we can't go downstairs to that fancy basement. So I guess we'll just leave. And let's try to accomplish something. Oh my goodness, 3 nasties get the drop on us. Thrasher Threshers and a lab rat from hell. All things that we've seen before. And unfortunately, I go down in the first turn. Okay, let's see if you guys can take out the Thrasher Threshers. Very good. Mademoiselle, I want you to concentrate on the lab rat. Put that animal to sleep. Perfect. Now with her vet skills, at maximum, she has no problem. Neither does Oxide Man as he rusted that thing in the death. And we get a whole load of experience. And inside a hollow tree trunk, we find 77 kilo dollars that some hobo stashed away for booze money. Okay, let's get out of here. No reason to be around there. And you know what? We're gonna head back to HQ so we can get resupplied and rest up. And then we'll head over to the Superhero League of Flushing, so we can help them with their little mice problem. I mean, mice problem? Come on, guys. Oh, I didn't mention. With our members, well, with 3 members at 50% proficiency, we can now perform the inverted pyramid of river crossing, or at least that's how I like to think of it. And we no longer have to worry about water. So now we don't have to use any 2-car stations or any helicopters to get to, where was this place? 3C? So we'll head down to 3C and just head over here, like it's no big deal. Alright, where's their headquarters? Where are you, Flushing? That looks like something. The upper tiers of Yankee Stadium are visible above the gray waters, and nestled into a portion of them are the headquarters of the Superhero League of Flushing. Care to enter? Of course we care. The Flushing HQ! Here, tucked into the corpse of Yankee Stadium, is the headquarters of the SLF. The lobby is decorated with a vast array of Mets memorabilia. Egresses to the southeast. You greet the leader of the Flushing League. So, where are these mice there terrorizing you, huh? You're trying really hard not to smile, as well as the rest of the party. Are they behind these big white furry couches? Just when you say that, one of the furry couches... Well, let's
They're
actually
kind of
proceed.
on the large size for mice.
I was doing that mostly from memory. Anyway, where are the little fellas hiding behind these white furry couches? Suddenly, one of the white furry couches moves a little, wiggles its nose, and whips you upside the head with its pink, powerful tail. And of course, the Superhero League of Flushing member tells us that, well, they're a bit on the big size. They are pretty big. These mice probably use conventional mouse traps as fingernail clippers. Let's take a look at the members. SLF members look quite harried, perhaps because of all the time they spent battling giant mice, or perhaps because of all the time they've spent explaining that they're not the Symbionese Liberation Front. See Hearst Patty. You recognize several of the members from past superhero conventions. There's Professor Infinity, the Human Toothpick. Oh, and there's Elmira, Mistress of Upstate New York. Let's go ahead and actually, no, not the sprinkler, darn it. Let's, talk to the SLF members.
Whew! It's about time you got here!
You know, this wasn't the easiest Superhero League HQ to find, you know.
What do you want? We should have a big neon sign out front saying, "This way to the secret hidden superhero headquarters"?
Well, if you're looking for a timely arrival, that would help. Anyway, what have you tried to get rid of these giant mice?
Well, Horror Movie Man made some really spooky sound effects, but that didn't scare them away. And Queen Quiz Show tried to lure them away with a grand prize package worth over 11,750 kilo-dollars. But they just didn't seem interested.
Well, have you considered relocating to a new building? There are some interesting buildings on the ground of the Old World's Fair, not too far from here.
What? But this is our home! Besides, we still have 2 years on the lease.
Well, if you got 2 years on the lease, I perfectly understand. So, where do you suppose these giant mice came from?
Perhaps we shouldn't have disposed of all those radioactive wastes in the League's garbage dumpster.
Yes, you actually brought this upon yourself for that short-sighted action. Anyway, what do you say after all this giant mouse business? We get together and have a softball game. Hoboken versus Flushing?
Sure, we'll whip your butts. After all, we've got several gloves that were once worn by Ed Cranepool, and we've all read Dave Kingman's book on the art of contact hitting.
We'll have to go back to the HQ and actually get a few more members for the game, but we can organize it. Anyway, talking all day is not gonna get these mice out of here, so let's get down to business.
Right, let's get down to action. We'll show these giant mice who the boss is. You go first.
Alright. So let's just simply try to kill the mice. You attack one of the mice, it laughs hysterically in the way that mice do, and calls all of its friends over to watch. You suspend your attack before the mice can do anything else to demoralize you even further. Darn mean mice. There's only one thing I can do. Let's look at this whistle. That's all you can do when you're laughed at mice. Look at the whistle. It looks like one of those special animal whistles that plays tones too high for a human ear to hear. Well, let's blow into it. You blow long and hard. Why doesn't that sound lewd? But no discernible sound is produced. A minute later, a tiger appears, as this was the whistle tied around its neck. Looking angry and hungry, the tiger pounces on one of the giant mice, devouring it in a single, albeit horribly messy bite. The tiger then plays with another mouse, taunting and teasing it, before finally ending its misery with a slash of its jungle-tough claws. He deposits the body of the mouse on the front doormat of the HQ as a gift to the family. The rest of the mice turn sort of pale, even though they're already white, and decide to vamoose. The tiger is not far behind. All the members of your party gain 1,600 experience points. The whistle seems to have gotten lost in all the ruckus, because I'm just that clumsy and incapable. Anyway, let's look at the mouse carcass. Looks like a normal mouse, except a lot larger than a normal mouse, and a lot deader than a normal mouse. Fascinating. Well, we'll go ahead and take this. I mean, it was a gift to the family, right? It'd be a shame if we angered that tiger. As you take the carcass of the dead mouse, you notice a accru bedister was previously concealed in its body. A bedister, huh? Like all bedisters, the accru bedister has a plug on the top and a sturdy cone protecting its delicate inner circuitry. Well, I guess we'll take this. Because why the heck not? And that's one mission down! Now where to head next? Well, we're not too far. Let's see what Entropy's up to. He should be up here somewhere in 3D. We gotta find, Yankee Stadium. An oval building, looking very odd amongst the crude hovels of the village, can be entered here. Do so? Yes. This, unfortunately, is not Yankee Stadium. Instead, it's Yonkers Raceway. So we'll get the heck out of here. No reason to be at Yonkers Raceway. Maybe sometime in the future. Alright, does anyone remember where it is? Also, this sector doesn't appear to be clear. We have some marketunes that start telemarketing as soon as we show up. And a whole mess of winos. And that one's done. And that one, this last marketoon enrolled Roamop in a focus group, and he incurs a whole load of boredom damage. That's an element type, folks. Boredom damage. Anyway, we'll start killing winos, as is our birthright. Perfect. And you can put a wino to sleep, though. That's a merciful death. And it is. These winos aren't terribly tough, considering it only took 9 damage to put them down. And you still managed to drop the ball there. I can't imagine how. And you can just huddle up.
Let's do lunch.
There he goes. And let's see, we find a plastic cooler with a sinister air about it. Do we open it? Yes. And we find $107 kilo. Thank goodness it wasn't explosives. I thought this sector was clear. Anyway, ahead of you are the imposing walls of a partially submerged arena. There are numerous openings in the facade. Are you interested in exploring the interior? Sure. Yankee Stadium. You're in the crumbling Coliseum where a field has gone to weeds, and it's surrounded by tier after tier of rotten wood seating. A plaque behind you, by the exit to the southwest reads, "Welcome to the house that Ruth built," whoever the heck she was. An open area stands filled with clutter of equipment, most notably a burnished metal booth. The mad fiend, Dr. Entropy, is manipulating said booth. Right here.
You'll never defeat me, Hoboken. I have more evil schemes than this game has levels.
Where? What?
Who is this gentleman?
Everything's fine, Mr. Steinbrenner. You've been revived. You see, now, my latest and greatest plot!
My god, he's resurrected! George Steinbrenner!
This man, who inflicted more than 3 decades of chaos on a famous sports franchise, had his body placed in cryogenic suspension. By reviving him, he can continue to spread his special brand of chaos, but this time, not just on a mere athletic franchise, but upon the entire world!
You're crazy, you know that, Entropy. Anyway, for the first time ever, let's sit down and have a chat with our archfiend, Dr. Entropy.
Yes, what is it? Even for a supervillain, I have a very full schedule.
Entropy, you know that good always triumphs over evil, don't you?
Not necessarily. It depends on whether or not good has a hint booklet.
Well, in this case, it kind of does. Anyway, what's your scheme this time, Entropy?
As one who has extensively studied the history of the late 20th century, I know that few, if any, men of that era were as responsible for the breakdown of the sensible social order as this man was. To bring him back now and install him in a position of authority? Even my fantastically analytical mind cannot calculate the possibilities.
Well, why don't you just come along quietly with us, Dr. Entropy, and we won't hurt you.
Because sales of the game would plummet, you twit.
Yeah, I guess that would be too easy. Anyway, just imagine what kind of things would be possible if you turned your genius to good instead of evil and chaos.
But without my goal of spreading chaos and increasing entropy, I would lose my passion for my work. And what a waste that would be of my unique genius. Also, us bad guys have way better parties than you good guys.
Oh, you're just jealous that we didn't invite you to our Cinco de Mayo party, just like the curator over at the Princeton Library. Anyway, don't take this personally, but why do you have this extremely strong resemblance to a Jack-in-the-Box?
I once had a fairly normal body of flesh and blood, but a gang of cutthroats left me for dead on the grounds of the old Secaucus junkyard. There, a malfunctioning repair robot, attempting to create order from the disarray of my dying flesh, reconstructed me using bits and pieces from the junkyard.
That's pretty terrible, but what's with this whole entropy shtick then?
After what that pernicious repair robot did to me, imposing its twisted, perverted order on me instead of just letting me expire in peace, I've dedicated my life to cleansing the world of order, to maximizing the entropy of the system we call Earth.
Well, I actually have to say that I kind of sympathize with your position. You've been through a lot. Anyway, we see you're busy trying to sow chaos and destruction, so we'll chat some other time when you're not so tied up. And we don't even have a parting word, and here we have George Steinbrenner. He looks a little bit dictatorial, just the same way the Atlantic Ocean looks like it contains a little bit of water. Let's talk to George.
Huh? Sorry, you'll have to speak up. My hearing's not 100% yet. I understand that it's one of the side effects of being dead for over a century.
Yeah, that could happen. Anyway, what are your plans as regional dictator?
I plan on employing my usual management style. I'll hire all the best people, and if we don't conquer every surrounding region within 48 hours, I'll fire them and hire an entirely new set of all the best people.
That's efficient, I suppose. No, wait, it's completely opposite of that. Anyway, I heard you were suspended from baseball once.
Actually, 3 times. Once for making illegal campaign contributions to Dick Nixon, once for paying money to a known gambler to dig up dirt on one of my players, and once for firing my manager and his entire coaching staff, and my general manager, and all of our play-by-play announcers during the 5th game of the World Series. That latter is probably my fondest baseball memory.
I can't imagine why. Anyway, what's it like being dead?
Surprisingly, it's not at all unlike listening to Phil Rizzuto do a commercial for the money store.
Certainly not a dated reference. Anyway, you should get some rest and I'll catch you later in the press room.
Yes. As soon as I'm feeling better, I'll want to have a press conference.
I'm sure you will. Anyway, let's take a look at this booth. The booth, which is open, is smaller than a telephone booth and considerably larger than a bread box. Its features include an unobtrusive blue button, located right here, some neatly stenciled writing, and 4 colored sockets, maroon, ecru, ochre, and mauve. You said ecru, right? Would you possibly fit in here? You would. Interesting. And let's go ahead and read the stenciling. The writing on the booth reads, Second Chance Systems, Revitalification Booth, 194. New York City, Corpus Vault, 59th Street, between 1st and 2nd Avenue. That address is actually extremely important. And the last thing we really have around here, other than worthless background stuff, is a strong box. The large metal box is the size and shape of a 2-door filing cabinet. A dial is set in the door, which is closed. Lettering on the door reads, Bates Safe Works. Well, can we open it? It appears to be locked, as a strong box surely should be. Can I just break it open? Although it seems flimsy for a safe, it's sturdy enough to resist your best pounding, even with all the brawn that I have. Even Mop can't get it open. Can I simply unlock it? Let's see, I'll unlock it with Entropy. No, it doesn't exactly work. Well, we could try turning the dial. I turn the dial and it doesn't open. I turn the dial and it doesn't open. You may see a pattern here. Well, there's one way to get it open. It said Bates Safe Works, right? We'll go ahead and use these aluminum-eating microbes on the safe. Entropy, busy with Steinbrenner, doesn't notice you approach this strong box. The contents of the vial drip all over the safe, which is almost immediately disappears into a cloud of aluminum-smelling steam. At least you assume it's aluminum-smelling. You actually haven't spent a lot of time sniffing aluminum. In any case, the steam disperses and you see the safe was concealing a strange ball. A strange ball, you say? We were kind of looking for one of those. The ball is about 3 feet across, and its surface seems to be composed of a multitude of tiny lights. Well, I think we'll just take this. You take the strange ball. Thankfully, Entropy isn't paying attention. And you know what? I think we're gonna set out. Because there's not much we can do here. Clearly, we need more Badisters and possibly something else to go in the booth to fight George Steinbrenner. But since we have this ball, I mean, how are we doing actually? We could rest. You know what? Nuts to that. There's no time for rest, only time for justice. So let's head to downtown New York. So here, you're near the opening of a huge seawall that has attempted, but failed, to keep the rising seas from flooding downtown Manhattan. Want to pass through the walls into the very heart of the city? Yes. We are now in downtown New York. And I don't know exactly where Times Square is, heroes. Well, here's the Empire State Building, rising into the haze. Water lapping nearly up to its doors stands the most famous of Art Deco monuments, the Empire State Building. Do you see what's within? Sure. The Empire State Building. You're in the library of the lobby of what was once of what in splendid desolation is still the most famous skyscraper in the world, or at least at the time of this game's creation. Its gleaming Art Deco fixtures lie in rusting abandon. One of the stairwells, fairly unblocked by rubble, leads downward. One of the banks of elevators line the lobby to the east and west. Only one of said elevators, to the east, looks undamaged. The streets of the city lie to the south. So let's see, what's downstairs? Hey! There's a tube car down here. Didn't Matilda say there was transport to New Haven in southern downtown New York? Well, I think that might be it. So we'll probably go there next. Let's just go ahead and have a rest here. And let's continue the look for Times Square. Let's also save the game just in case we run into a bit of trouble. Just in case, it's always good to be careful. Times Square. A commotion seems to have come from an open area formed by several of the tallest buildings. Do you investigate? Sure. Times Square. You are in the urban canyon formed by the skyscrapers of every style. The ocean waters are visible nearby. If they continue to rise, this area will be inundated in another decade. The square itself is thick with filth and litter and jammed with a multitude of boisterous and unsavory people. In other words, let's see. Apparently, it decided it was time to scroll up, so we'll just have to imagine what that next text was. Instead, we see a wild Dick Clark. The crowd suddenly parts, providing a view of a man who is clearly the leader of the cult, Dick Clark. His back is to you, and his head is hidden by a fur-lined hood of his parka. Then he turns. The party gasps collectively as they find themselves face to face with, impossible as it seems, the 20th century legend Dick Clark. And he still hasn't aged a day, even though he did die regrettably in 2012. He's amazingly back now! So let's look at him. He is cheerful and extraordinarily well-preserved man. He sports a set of daringly unfashionable fuzzy earmuffs, seen here. Well, let's talk to him.
Who are you, and why aren't you reveling?
Why aren't I reveling? We're from the Superhero League of Hoboken. Ever heard of it?
Sure, didn't you have a couple of Billboard Top 10 hits a few years back?
Maybe. I wasn't with the league just then. Anyway, I think we found your missing ball.
Well, for goodness sake, please hand it over.
We will as soon as we get done with this conversation. We're not done yet. Let's see. So, Dick, what's your secret of staying so youthful?
Ponds.
I see. And where did you get those cool earmuffs?
Earl's Earmuff Emporium in East Islip. Very warm, and on top of that, they boost my toughness by 3.
Neat. Anyway, I get all tongue-tied talking to a legend, so pardon me while I go and compose myself. And get your ball. Here's your ball there, Dick. You found the missing ball, men. This is Dick Clark talking, of course. You found the ball, the missing ball. Men call off the extremely destructive riots, and let's celebrate with a dance marathon. And you superheroes, step over into our winner's circle. Which one of you is going to get the clues and which one is going to receive? Before you can answer, the dance marathon begins, and Dick heads off. This is just ridiculous. Let's see, where was I? And Dick heads off to judge it. As he departs, an ochre-colored banister drops out of the ball and lands at your feet. Well, of course it was in the ball the whole time. Why was Entropy keeping it in there? Clearly, he put it in there, right? Anyway, all of our members get a 1,600 bonus of experience points. So we'll go ahead and take the banister. And you know what? We've done a lot this session, this video. So, next time, we will go ahead and finish it off. We'll go and stop Dr. Entropy, of course. We'll go ahead and make sure that Yale and Princeton get their ankles set off, or their situation covered. What am I trying to say here? And we also had a piece of pre-collapse Americana to get in Philadelphia sewers. Anyway, I'll see you next time, citizens. Next time!